Welcome back to Let's Play Fire Emblem the Sacred Stones. There's actually no time to actually do an intro, so we're jumping straight into the story, because this is a Gaiden chapter. More on that later. What a pleasant surprise, this massive altar. What's the situation, Tirado? You have captured Ephraim, haven't you? No, Prince Ephraim still fights in the lands north of Renval. And why is that? What has happened to all these mercenaries you hired? They've proven to be less than adequate. Ephraim's clever. His band strikes quickly and vanishes into the woods. We more than double his numbers, and yet he uses the terrain wisely to fight us. He has no army, just a small force of knights loyal to Renai. Prince Ephraim's reputation as a superb strategist would seem to be well earned. How interesting. The lad's beginning to whet my appetite. Tirado, bring him to me as quickly as you can, will ya? As you command. Just grant me an army and I'll bring him down swiftly. What sort of plan do you have? Master, I'm your loyal adjutant, and you are my general. For you, my lord, I have my many plans ready and waiting. Really? Well then, let me hear them. Very well, first you and I will leave this fort and head north. Then we find Prince Ephraim in his leafy playpen. He's not easily found, is he? Do not worry. At Prince Ephraim's side is a friend, shall we say. When the time is right, our friend will move on our behalf. Well, that sounds suspicious. Ford, how are we on supplies and equipment? It's not looking good. Weapons are in bad shape and we're running low on food. We can probably restock in a nearby village, but no, that's not an option. We're in enemy territory. I'll not involve innocents if I can avoid it. I knew you'd say that. I mean, it's because of stuff like that that we've stuck with you so far. But eventually, we do need to face reality. What are we going to do? Word of mouth has it that the invasion of Renai has progressed quite far. I've heard that the capital has fallen. So soon? Still, my father's in the capital and he won't surrender easily. Ford, Kyle, our mission here is to harry the troops to distract their eye. Hopefully we'll be able to give my father and Erica time to escape. Kyle, have you heard anything from Orson? I sent him ahead to scout. No word yet, and it's about time you returned. Reporting in, Prince Ephraim. I can confirm Grado's presence at several points around our camp. Also, a large battalion of soldiers has been dispatched from Renval. We shouldn't tarry here any longer than necessary. I see. Seems as though we've certainly caught Grado's eye this time. Should we retreat back to the capital, Prince Ephraim? No, we press onward. We're going to capture Renval. What? Yeah, this is interesting. This is Renval, is it? Alright, let's go. Are you sure you're quite sane, Prince Ephraim? We have an entire army after us and you want to charge the stronghold? Ford, watch your tongue, this is our prince you're addressing. Kyle, please, it's alright, we've heard nothing from home, so what harm could a little reckless besieging cause? Prince Ephraim? Don't worry, I haven't lost all sense of self-preservation. Renval holds an important place in Grado's national defense. If we can get the upper hand and take control of it, then Grado will waste as many valuable soldiers trying to take it back. I hope our attack proves useful to my father and Erica. I understand what you're saying, but can we do it with our current strength? Every soldier in this area is trying to find us. The enemy has us vastly outnumbered. Attacking the castle is a ridiculous idea. If the enemy thinks the same, then we may have our opening. You have a point. Sure, Renval won't expect us to attack with these numbers. Either way, we can't run forever, and we're running out of supplies. What have we got to lose? Shall we get ready to go? Yes, if we don't move quickly, we may never get another chance. Trust me, I don't pick fights I cannot win. Yes, sir. An attack by Ephraim's troops? To arms! Prince Ephraim circled around us. Oh, circled around and brought the fight to us. If we capture the prince, we can line our pockets with gold. Do you understand? We'll be rich. Orson. Yes? Your wounds still haven't healed from the last battle, have they? Don't push yourself. If we are defeated, you must return to Frelia, understood? Understood. Let's go, Kyle, Ford. So, spoiler warning, we're not using any of these people. To be honest, they all kinda suck. And some more than others, I'll get into that much later. So, a common complaint that comes up in this game is that Ephraim is too good. Now he's like too perfect at everything because he can just sweep enemy fortresses almost single-handedly, which is a little bit fishy. Also, normally I would have stricter rules about this, but I'm actually going to be using these two quite a bit, actually. But I'm not going to be using Ford, only Kyle, because I don't want to spread out the experience too much. Anyway, Orson leaves the party eventually, I won't say why. But Gaiden chapter, Gaiden is a side story in Japanese. I don't know why it's called Ninja Gaiden, since that's not a spin-off of anything. But Gaiden is, in this context, refers to a side story. Therefore, interestingly, this is actually the only side story practically in the series that is actually not a side story. It's actually kind of required, which sort of defeats the purpose of it being a side story, I suppose. But yeah, it actually is story relevant to some extent. Oh, snap. I fricked that up kind of badly, actually. Shoot. Yeah, I did mess that up. I equipped too much stuff to one character, thus I can't actually carry everything, and that's all I actually have to drop an item. The Regan Leaf is similar to the Rapier in that it deals extra damage to knights. It's a lot stronger than the Rapier though, so use it freely. I wouldn't worry about running out because it's so powerful right now that if we want to tank this out with Ephraim, that's our only option. Also, I should point out that, yeah, we actually have to drop stuff. We have extra vulneraries, so I'm throwing that away. Yeah. It's very uncommon for this to happen, but most Fire Emblems will have a Gaiden chapter. This one has only one Gaiden chapter, and it's actually not optional. So, why is it a Gaiden chapter? Basically because it doesn't have anything to do with the main story. It's a sort of a side story to the main adventure of sorts. So yeah, that's why it's a Gaiden chapter, even though technically Gaiden makes no sense in this context because it's not a side story. It's actually pretty relevant, but it is a side story to what we're currently up to, I suppose. Depending on how you want to look at the game, there are technically a lot of Gaiden chapters. In fact, there's technically as many as, let's see, math, please. 7? I want to say 7, but I think that's wrong. Also, Orson is our new Seth. He will be a meat shield for this chapter. Also, by the way, no one can die in this chapter except Ephraim. If Ephraim dies, you have to restart. Sadly, though, no one else can actually die because these guys show up later on in the main chapter when they're actually fully recruited. So yeah. Also, I just wanted to point out that isn't it a little bit odd that considering that Orson has no weapons, that he is getting really hammered this battle. I mean, that he is not getting hammered at all. They're not touching him at all. So I'm not gonna say why that is. There's actually a story explanation for why that is. I'm not gonna say it yet because I don't want to ruin the surprise, quite frankly. This, and also trade the key over and make him wait, and have Ford truck on ahead. Actually, Ford, I'm actually debating with myself if I should use Ford because I already have Franz, but 2 paladins might not be bad. Might not be a bad idea. I'm bouncing around the idea, but I don't think I will use 2 paladins. Also, I discovered there's actually a second Myrmidon as well, so we may not even be using Joshua too long. Just out of personal preference for supports. Okay, actually, I should give the Javelin to Ephraim. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, it's a wonderful idea. To quote a certain game that a lot of people don't like to talk about anymore. A game that I did a Let's Play of a very long time ago, and yet, yeah, people really don't like to talk about this game. But yeah, I want to test something, a theory of mine. Okay, they will actually attack Orson, but they tend to prioritize the other characters. Also, Orson can't die. If he loses all of his HP, he retreats because reasons. Well, okay, they allude to this already, so I'm not sure if I should say it or not. Because they kind of allude to the fact that there's a mole, but they don't say who the mole is. I've basically given away that the mole is Orson at this point, so I might as well just say it's Orson. So yeah, do not use Orson. Whatever you do, do not use Orson, because that is a huge waste of experience. That's a huge waste of items. So generally a good strategy is to unequip everything. Also, when Ephraim joins, in I think chapter 8, he has this, all these guys will have their equipment and a setup from that level. Which is really important, actually. Drop the steel lance, I suppose. I'm really not playing my items well this level. Okay, there we go. And also, I'm gonna have Ford go up and take the key from Ephraim next turn. So basically, this chapter can go really fast or really slow depending on who you're using. If you, for some reason, don't like Franz and you want to use Ford and or what's his name? Why am I forgetting it? Ford and Kyle? Then you'll be able to sweep this chapter pretty easily because you have 3 units. If you don't want to use one or both of them, it can actually take a while because you're mostly using Ephraim for everything. So a common term that comes up in our current society is Mary Sue and the male equivalent Gary Stu, which refers to characters who are just like good at everything and don't really have much in the way of like character flaws. Ephraim is considered one. I don't know why he's singled out a lot. Though really a lot of characters, like I think Corin is also singled out as one a lot. But yeah, personally I don't mind the trope too much. It's very unrealistic, obviously, having characters who are good at everything, but to me, it's not like a deal breaker. A lot of the lords are just overly perfect in Fire Emblem, to put it bluntly. And it's the minor characters who have the character flaws. So I don't know why they set it up that way, but they do, and it's a little bit grating sometimes. Anyway, Orson is a paladin, a level 3 paladin, even higher level than Seth, so no one is able to get through his armor except the axe wielder. So again, if you are trying to use Ephraim to solo this floor, essentially, this takes a long time. So yeah. Okay, trade over the... I'm gonna have him basically be our item store this chapter, since we don't have a supply convoy. I'm just gonna have him be our supply convoy. And again, have Ephraim just sweep everybody in the meantime. Like, I think the lord with the most character depth is probably Micaiah in Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. Say what you will about Radiant Dawn, but I think Micaiah is a well-done character. And Soth as well. Both are a lot more conflicted than the average Fire Emblem protagonist, let's put it that way. Which is not saying anything. It's like saying, oh, critical. It's like saying, Sonic Adventure 2 is my favorite Sonic game, but that's not saying anything, because I still think mostly that's nostalgia. If you watch my Let's Play, you'll see that I have a lot to complain about. And I actually tried to complain less in Sonic 06, oddly enough. As strange as it sounds, I actually tried to make a conscious effort to be nicer to Sonic 06. Just because I thought I was being too hard on Sonic Adventure 2. Someday I actually kind of want to redo Sonic Adventure 2 and try to be more optimistic. But at the same time, that's not happening. I think for me, part of the problem is people rave about Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. And yet they're not really that good of games. At best, they're pretty decent. At worst, they're kind of unplayable. So, yeah, that is a problem I do have. That it's just expectations is kind of the problem. Also, by the way, if you're trying to sweep the floor, all you have to do is actually capture the throne. And if you're just using Ephraim, you really don't need to actually kill everything here, because that's like way more experience than you'd ever need. I mean, to be fair, Ephraim joins at a pretty late level of the game if you don't play his route. Also, okay, that was a slight spoiler. The game diverges at one point, where you have to choose between Ephraim or Erica, and then they reconvene towards the end game. So I will be showing both, actually. I will be showing Erica's route and Ephraim's route. That's gonna be a lot of work, and we will be making very little story progress for a while, but I just think that the best option would be to show both routes, rather than pick and choose. To put it bluntly, Ephraim's route is considered really tricky comparatively, so that's gonna be fun. Yeah, Ephraim's route is considered the hard mode of the game. And Erica's route is considered a lot easier and more forgiving. Personally, that doesn't even come close to rivaling the hardest Fire Emblem. I mean, it's like saying, oh, Birthright is easier than Conquest. Yeah, understatement of the year. Because that is the case in this comparison. Because not having played them, I've heard many horror stories about Conquest being like really, really, really hard. Like Radiant Dawn levels hard. And that's a lot. And Radiant Dawn is considered the hardest game in the series, so that is... Okay, whether that's a compliment or a diss is sort of left up to your interpretation. I won't make up your mind for you, I suppose. Would be a good way to put it. Also, because we're soloing this, I apologize that this is taking forever. This is just how I'm playing. If you want to use Ford and Kyle instead of Franz, go for it. If you want to use all three, go for it. Personally, it's overkill to have 3 paladins endgame. That is like massive overkill, so I will not be using them. I tend to need like only 1 unit of each type. That's how I play Fire Emblem. I don't like having repeat units, except maybe on certain situations, like 2 Pegasi is really good. But the amount of times you need 2 Pegasi are very limited. Like, if you need a lot of people to carry guys around, then maybe switch it to second Pegasi, second Paladin, whatever. But most of the time you're not really gonna need to do that. It's just overkill. So I'm gonna do sort of a run around here. Trade that to him, and trade this to him. And this route is like magic and... Oh. Okay, this is actually like a weird... Okay, that does loop back around. Okay. This is a weird level, actually. Huh. So what I do here depends on how much damage he does. 4, I can take that. And I got a crit anyway. So yeah, from the very beginning, Ephraim is very clearly a powerhouse. And again, that's part of the reason why people don't actually like him. Because he's too powerful, actually. Yeah, he's too powerful for his own good, essentially. And he's just a tad broken. And we haven't even gotten him classed up. This is him just level 8, normal. He's not even like a great lord yet. Plus, also, I feel like people also find his design a little bit generic because, I mean, look at his sprite. He kind of looks like Marth / Crom / Lucina / all the blue-haired characters in Fire Emblem. So it does tend to kind of be a problem with him just being generic. And I would agree to that. His design is very bland. He looks like his sprite looks like Marth with a lance. Which is actually a joke in the community. Specifically for Smash Bros. Because frankly, Smash fans aren't really big on Fire Emblem. But there are jokes about how there's like Blue Marth, Girl Marth, Buff Marth, and so on. So yeah, people generally don't really like the lords. And again, it does feel to me like Smash and Fire Emblem, ironically, do not have much crossing over. in terms of demographics, they're pretty split, because a lot of Smash fans really weren't crazy about like having so many Fire Emblem characters. To me, I like the idea of having 4 Fire Emblem characters. I just wish they picked different ones. Robin is cool, Martha's cool. I kind of wish they'd gone with like Hector or someone like that instead of Roy? Something. Okay. Got a level up for Ford, and he's level 7, wow. He's actually about the same level as Franz right now. Problem is, when he actually physically joins a party, he'll still be level 7. So, he'll be way behind Franz by the time he actually joins up full time. It also depends largely on which route you go. If you decide to go the Ephraim route, you might want to use Ford instead of Franz, because I think Ford continues to assist Ephraim for a little bit. I actually don't know how it works. I haven't played this game in forever, so I don't remember how this actually works entirely. I'm just kind of making stuff up as I go along, to tell the truth. Okay. Yeah, I think everyone goes with whoever you pick, and then any new characters. I think certain new characters will join up later on. But again, I'm not an expert on this game. I actually know more about this game, arguably, than the original, where the recruitment system just blows my mind because of the whole, oh well, if your Lord levels equal this, and it's higher than your Warriors combined levels, then you get this character. That kind of stuff just makes my head want to explode. So yeah. It's a little bit dicey. I think I'm gonna snipe him like this. And I missed. And that hit at least, so that was good. Okay. So this is a little bit precarious. I think I'm gonna do this, just as a safety strat. And I am using a lot of safe strats, I should point out. Because normally, if I was playing a Fire Emblem, I would have tried to risk having Ephraim just sweep these guys on the enemy turn. But because this is a Let's Play, I kind of want to play it safe. Again, you may think that's not a good thing to do, playing it safe. You might want to see more risky strats. But I just don't feel it's viable in a Let's Play when you have half-an-hour episodes. Wow, we are almost to half an hour, aren't we? Half-an-hour episodes and, like, no saving in between chapters. Well, I could make a restore point, I suppose, but that'd be kind of cheap, I think? To be reloading restore points. I don't like save scumming, unless I have to. Again, one of the only times I will actually save scum is, like, for my own personal playthroughs, and if I'm trying to find the best possible route. Like, I mentioned that I recently had played Fire Emblem. The first one, just call it Fire Emblem. And on the Wii U eShop. And I did so much save scumming because I was trying to plan out a route for a Let's Play. And that's when I decided not to actually Let's Play that one. That's when I switched over to Sacred Stones, because I had to do so much save scumming that it was insane. It was insane how long that practice run went. Like, I was literally saving every other turn. And occasionally every turn. Like, not even the whole turn. Sometimes I'd go like, oh, one movement. And then save, just in case an enemy got a crit or something the next turn. So I'd have some backup. Like, I'd be able to move them out of harm's way or whatever. But yeah, that's just how insane the first game is. And the Sacred Stones, comparably speaking, is like a cakewalk by comparison. It's not easy. No Fire Emblem is easy, but it is definitely the easiest of the bunch. So that's why we're here right now. Also, this being the only Gaiden chapter, I should also point out that there's actually a game called Fire Emblem Gaiden, and I accidentally made a mistake in my commentary a few episodes ago that I learned later on. The concept of what am I saying? The concept of monsters and also the world map actually come from Fire Emblem Gaiden, which was the second game in the series, if I'm not remembering wrong. Fun fact, this is the second North American Fire Emblem, so I find it really ironic that the second North American Fire Emblem has some parallels to the second Fire Emblem period. The second one being Gaiden. Why Gaiden was the second one, I don't know. Because the actual sequel to Shadow Dragon came out third. Mystery of the Emblem. Which also got a DS remake, and I'm still salty about that. We never got that. I'm just... Okay, maybe salt is like too strong of a term, but it does still irk me to this day that we never got that game. Localization stuff tends to get on my nerves a lot. So just FYI, when we don't get games that sound really cool, it does bother me. Case in point, Daigyakutin Saiban, which Capcom refuses to localize. They're localizing Ace Attorney 6, but they won't localize Daigyakutin Saiban or Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Fans have actually done a translation of Ace Attorney Investigations 2, which I won't condone because it's technically involving ROMs. But it's like the only way to actually play the game. I need to play Ace Attorney Investigations 1 though first. I hear it's really good. I hear it has like one of the best... I hear the second game has one of the best cases in the series, but it's kind of a chore to get there. That's why I've heard about Investigations 2. My favorite case is, I think Goodbye in Turnabout. Turnabout Goodbyes. Let's see, Ace Attorney... Whichever 2-4 is. I'm kind of in the minority because a lot of people like, a lot of people really like... Oh, Farewell My Turnabout, that's it. Oh snap, that's all good. I'm gonna position him here with a javelin and just wait, and then further lure that guy into the throne room. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Can he actually reach me? Okay, good. So movement range, I think I can position him about here and be good. So I want to kill everybody because experience. Normally I would not recommend doing this because this just takes forever. Again, Farewell My Turnabout is 2-4, and even though Justice for All isn't my favorite Ace Attorney, it is actually my favorite case on the whole. Followed by Bridge to the Turnabout. I like Bridge to the Turnabout, but I also, like an old friend spoiled it for me. Like, big time. Like, literally showing me screenshots of the outcome of the case before I'd actually played it. So, I couldn't get into the case as much as I wanted to because it was spoiled for me. So yeah, again, I personally do feel like Bridge to the Turnabout is a really good case. However, I wish I could have experienced it for myself first, if that makes sense. Also, weird thing is I play Ace Attorney games in I only have played the odd-numbered ones, actually. And that's because of the Let's Plays. I played the first Ace Attorney. Oh yeah, by the way, we're doing nothing in the game, so that's why I'm talking about Ace Attorney. Anyway. I played the first Ace Attorney and thought it was okay. Like, just okay. And then I saw a really good Let's Play of Justice for All, and I was like, oh, that was really good. And then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna play Trials and Tribulations for myself because it was really good. So I play for myself and get burnt out again. And then, oh, do you truly think you can take us with those numbers? Imbecile, you'll learn the error of your ways. Anyway, so I got burnt out after playing Bridge to the Turnabout because it was spoiled for me. So I didn't ever play Apollo Justice. Right now, August 22, there's actually a really good Ace Attorney Let's Play in the works. I've been really enjoying it, and I bought Dual Destinies. So you're seeing a pattern forming already that I tend to get burnt out and then watch a Let's Play of the next game and then get into it again. Lord Tirado, can't be. Were we merely pawns? My Emperor, I failed you. To quote Star Fox. I really want to do more 64, but easy mode is anticlimactic after hard mode for Star Fox 64. Anyway, there's also an airplane, so silent moment. We've secured the entire castle. You were brilliant, Prince Ephraim. What a plan! What a battle! I estimate at least half of the enemy troops are in the field. We took the castle, but we don't have the manpower to hold it in a siege. There's no point in lingering here. Let's continue on to Grotto Keep. So they basically loot the whole place. Prince Ephraim, things have taken a turn for the worse. I took a look around the castle perimeter. We're surrounded. What? Grotto sent reinforcements so quickly? What should we do? We must escape. See ya! And the Moonstone. So you captured Renville, have you? And with such a small force? Impressive. And you've earned your reputation, I must say. I quite admire your work. I take it you're the leader of this pack, the misguided Prince Ephraim. I am. I am General Walter, the Moonstone of Grotto's Imperial Army. Catching up to you has caused me no small amount of trouble. You've reduced your wretched home of an eye to ruins, and yet you and your little band of bravos continue to be a thorn in our side. But all that ends here. Well, see, you claim you've taken the capital of Renai. Tell me, how did you know I would attack Renval? Haha, patience, you'll have your answer soon enough. And be good lads and drop your weapons, will you? Prince Ephraim, let us attack! Listen to me, Ephraim, you're a smart man. You know it's futile to fight me. You cannot win. You cannot escape. Accept the reality of your situation and surrender to me. Surrender? That's right, if you do, I'll let you live. I hold your life in the palm of my hand. Do not test my good humor. Now come over here. Bend your knee and beg for your life. Show me how Renai dogs grovel. I think not. What? You said your name was Walter, didn't you? Well, I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry, Walter, but I don't have time to waste playing games with you. So we're going to knock you lots about a bit and then make our way out of here. Fool, have you gone mad? Do you truly believe you could fight your way past my wyvern knights? Watch and see. I don't pick fights I can't win. Kyle, Ford, are you ready? My life has been yours since the moment I took my chivalric vows. So it's like these that keep me by your side, Prince. What idiotic wretches you are. Prepare yourselves to be destroyed utterly. We break to the east, go! And that was an abrupt end to the chapter, but next time we start chapter 6, back on the main story. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you join me next time for more Fire Emblem: The Sacred Stones.